guys, how you doing? Welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, welcome to today's conversation. I have a few minutes with you guys. I have about 50 minutes. As you're joining me, kindly tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. Hey, David, miss you already. Okay, tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. I have Bayo Lubi from Canada. How are you, Bayo? Welcome. Welcome, everybody. And remember, share this with your friends, invite other people. Let's have some good conversations today and learn. Okay? David from Port Harcourt, welcome. Messi from Abuja, you're welcome. Itayo from Ondo, Ikena from Pittsburgh, Wisdom from London. You're welcome, welcome everyone. Good to see you guys today, and thank you for joining. Ogogo from Abuja on the subject, why two people cannot help themselves, right? Wireless. Dotun from Dallas. Hey Dotun, I hope you've registered for my Saturday. Maurice from Ghana. Mr. Goats USA. I don't understand. Your name is Goats and you live in USA. That's strange. Goats. Well, welcome everybody. So I want to share with you why two poor people cannot help themselves. Two poor people cannot help themselves. Many years ago, I mean, because I was poor as well, I used to have this mindset that, you know, why was it that everything was about, you know, poverty, everything was about, and I had this mindset that we poor people, and even when I talk, you see me saying we poor people, and it was almost like association of poor people, and it was just a mindset I had, and it took me years and years to work on that mindset. I think one of those people that helped me to get that was Reverend Sam. In one of his books is Meetings on Money, and that the concept of rich and poor starts with the mindset. Money is about the mindset. So if you say you're poor, right, then you are. But even if you don't have money in your account, but you see yourself as a rich person, then you're rich. So for me growing up, it was almost subconsciously, I had this solidarity. It was like we poor people, empathy for poor people. And I just used to feel, you know, when I see rich people, I'm like, hey, we're not going to take money to heaven. And all my conversations were about, and I still see a lot of people have that. I hated that I was poor. I hated that I was from a poor family. But at the same time, I didn't like rich people. All my mindset, all my ideology about rich people was they are arrogant, was that they are not going to go to heaven, was that most of them didn't make money legitimately. In my mind, every rich person did not make it legitimately. I'm telling my own story. The mindset I had, the upbringing I had. So I had this mindset, rich people didn't make it legitimately. I didn't want to be like that. And I remember one day I was with a friend who was into a lot of mindset. He was older than I do. He's read a lot of books about success. And I just saw a very beautiful car. I was in the university. And I said, see them, all these people, we don't know how they got their money. And he looked at me. I said, what kind of mindset is that? I said, what do you mean? You don't know how they made their money. And he said, do you know the person? Do you know the business the person is into? Why will you just see someone and just conclude that we don't know how they made their money? I mean, and he broke it down in a very smart way. That how did you conclude that the fact that the source must not have been legit? And I remember that was the day I first realized that I had that wrong mindset about wealthy people. Technically, I didn't like wealthy people, yet I hated that I was poor. The final opportunity that then opened my eyes to the fact that there was really nothing about poverty I needed to love or celebrate or entertain or wish was when my mother died of ovarian cancer. So my mother was a civil servant and she was our breadwinner. Okay, she was a civil servant and was our breadwinner. If you're wondering why I'm working, I do a lot of working now. I try to do an hour work just to burn calories. It's one of my own type of exercise. So I've been adding weight in recent time. And I realized because I do more administrative work, I'm in meetings, so I'm oftentimes stationary. And so, when I started going to the gym, rather than lose weight, I added more weight. So now I do work. And so I'm just doing one of those works. But back to my conversation. My mother was our breadwinner, but she was a civil servant. And as you know, how much was her salary? But a different kind of civil servant, by the way. And those who know, I will tell you. Very hardworking, very helpful. And unfortunately, she did not reap what she sowed. My mother worked in what we used to call NEPA, PSC and GENCO now. And if they caught your lights in Maiduguri, they used to call her Mamolu in Maiduguri. Older people will still tell you they know who she was. I went to Maiduguri 2019 to one of the IDP camps to help. And then I went to my primary school. And when I told the teachers that were there, Mamolu, they all remember, and everybody said the same thing. They caught my lights. I went to their office, and everybody told me, go and meet Mamolu. She will help you, fix the light issue, and they're going to fix your lights. And that they fixed his lights that had been cut for weeks, the same day he met my mother. So she was a different kind of civil servant. But she didn't reap what she sowed, because her tummy started swelling up. We didn't know what was wrong. And she kept going to the teaching hospital constantly. And for 6 months, the Nigerian teaching hospital refused to diagnose my mother. To diagnose whatever was wrong with her. For 6 solid months, she kept going. Now, 6 months later, her tummy was like that of a 9-month pregnant woman. And we're talking about somebody who was about 60 that time. And she was like a 9-month pregnant woman. Obviously, she wasn't pregnant. But she had lost weight, but her tummy was big. At some point, her boss was, when she went to work, everybody was really frustrated. And they said, you know what, let's take you to a private hospital. If we need to pay the bill one way or the other, we will do that. And they took her to a hospital called a co-hospital in Mobolaji Bank, Anthony. What Nigerian Teaching Hospital couldn't do in 6 months, in 4 days, they discovered it was ovarian cancer, but it has spread. Now, my older brother was too, this is what older people do to you. Our firstborn, on the day of the burial, he used to, it was years later, he told me, he couldn't stand, seeing our corpse. My mother was everything to all of us. And so I was the one that went to retrieve my mom's corpse. I got the death certificate. And I got the receipt. The entire bill was a little over 800,000 Nigerian naira. This was over 12 years ago. The entire bill. And I'm telling this story to go somewhere. This was the final straw that made me to conclude on this statement I've been telling you. Two poor people cannot help themselves. Because it dawned on me that if I had 800,000, if my mother friends have had 800,000, we could have been in a position to send her to a better hospital. The cancer could have been diagnosed earlier. Our chances of living at least few more years would have been almost assured if it was caught early. But nobody had that kind of money. Nobody had 800,000 naira in the entire network. And that was the final time I gave up trying to like poverty or see poverty from the angle of, we're not going to take money to heaven. I saw the evil of poverty. I saw what poverty will do. I saw how you can lose your life being poor. And I saw particularly that if you're in a third world country, right, poverty is synonymous to suicide. You are practically dead. Because if any health emergency occurs, the system, is so structured that there's nothing that will happen to keep you alive. You are as good as dead. As good as dead. And that experience till tomorrow has made me realize that there is nothing to love about poverty. And I'm saying this because some of you still have this mindset where subconsciously you hate rich people. Of course, you talk about, hating poverty, but when you see rich people, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, we don't know who they are. Oh, we don't know how they made their money. Oh, they are one of those people. Oh, they are careless people. Oh, they don't care. And I'm going to be sharing with you I'm going to share maybe three, type of people that you need to associate with. Okay? However, I'll also share with you three type of people who may not have money that you should associate with. Okay? Three types of rich people you should associate with. And then three types of people who may not have money. Remember, I'm not calling them poor. And the reason is because there are certain people who may not have cash right now. But I can assure you they're on their way to wealth. It's, the concept of wealth is, again, I repeat, is mindset. Everybody type is mindset. Come on, everybody. I thought we have people here today. And by the way, get more people to join us. We had a lot of people yesterday, or day before yesterday. Right? So share this video and get more people to join us. Come on. I'm waiting. Wealth is mindset. I want everybody to type it. Wealth is mindset. It's very much mindset. Oftentimes people think it's about how much of accumulation you have. It's mindset. Okay? This subject of men is mindset. I look back, I had a conversation with somebody that I met when I was to do JAM many years ago. And, we got to reconnect, and she was saying that, I was telling my sister, Stephen deserves all the success that he's getting. And she said to me again, I don't know whether you remember, you were very serious about yourself. You used to talk like you were somebody who was going somewhere. Right? And that's why everybody who is made it, people will tell you, those who made legitimately, it was like they prophesied about their future. They told people where they were going through. They were too sure they were going to succeed. Some thought they were arrogant. Some thought they were full of themselves. But they were talking about it. They told people, I'm doing this. I'm going somewhere. I'm building something. Today, those who used to know me back then are not surprised at where I am. They are not. They will tell you, if you know anybody who went to school with me, they will tell you they are not surprised. Particularly university and above, they will tell you, we're not surprised. The guy always had this mindset. He had this attitude about himself. And wealth is about mindset. And the first mindset you must work on is to begin to, and number one, right? And I want people to type it. Celebrate those who are successful right now. Right? Believe in God for your own. And don't make it like a competition. Just be happy for them. Okay? Celebrate those who are successful right now. Okay? When you see somebody with a good car, say, wow, fantastic car. How much is it? Congratulations. Be happy for them. Work on your mind such that the first thing that comes to your mind shouldn't be, oh, maybe he stole the money. Oh, where was the source of the money? Right? Celebrate the person first. Dr. Daniel Moses, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. Right? Celebrate them first. Celebrate people who are doing well. Genuinely be happy for them. Until tomorrow, I don't know about anybody else. When I see people doing well, I'm just happy for them. Like, wow, thank God for you. Congratulations. The first thing that comes to my mind when I see a rich person is, where did he get the money from? He must have stolen it. No. I'm happy for the person. That's the first mindset for wealth. Be happy for those who are wealthy. In fact, one of the things you will discover as you grow your wealth is that what rich people do for themselves or with themselves, 70% of the time is celebration. Okay? Their business deals happen during celebration. Wedding, naming, party, okay? Launch of a new project, right? Playing golf course, wedding of their daughter, school, project, vacation, right? Hangouts. It's even how they do business, right? It's celebration. Of course, burial as well of old ones and all of that. But it's majorly events, and mostly positive events. And that's how their deals goes up. That's how they do their deals. Wealthy people. But poor people are very much negative minded. And there's so much negativity, there's so much hatred, there's so much we're fighting, we're doing this, we're doing that. So if you're serious about becoming wealthy, so that you don't become another poor person, try to join another poor person, is that you need to, first of all, start being happy for wealthy people. Right? Say thank God for so, and don't make it competitive. Somebody saw a post about something I achieved, and the next thing he posted was, I'm going to be bigger than you. And I'm like, what kind of stupid talk is that? You can be as big as you want to be, but don't make it look like a competition. You can be as great. It's your own greatness. It's who you need to be. But don't put it like, oh, we're competing. I'm going to be big. Why must I be the benchmark of your success? The sky is so big that there's no competition. There's only competition on the ground. Look at this. This is traffic, right? Downtown Dallas. There's traffic, right? You don't have this in the air. How many of you have seen this in the air? Plane, waiting for each other and having traffic. So, traffic only happen on the ground. At the topmost stop, it's open for everyone to succeed. There's no limitation. Come on, everybody there's no limitation to my progress. Everybody, I want you to type, I am not competing against anybody but myself. Come on, everybody, type it. I am not competing against anybody but myself. I'll be in Houston on Sunday, right? I have a training on Sunday. By the way, if you are in Houston, you are in Dallas, you are in Los Angeles, you are in San Francisco, you are in Maryland, you are in Atlanta, send me a DM. I have an event and I'm giving 10 free tickets for each of the events. I think I now have just 5 tickets per location. Some location is less than 5, some location a little above 5. So send me a DM, and you can get a ticket to be part of the event. Okay, there is no competition. Your competition is against you. In business, I say this to a lot of people, I have never done any business with the mindset of somebody's my competitor. I really don't have that mindset. I honestly don't. I see everybody as a potential partner. I don't see it as a competition. Because what I am going to do is totally different from what anybody else is doing. Whenever I go into a field, I'm saying, what can I do that nobody else is doing? How can I get into the sector in a way that nobody else is in the sector? What do I bring to the table that is totally different? Okay? So are you learning, guys? If you're learning today, type I'm learning, I'm learning, I'm learning. Okay? Type I'm learning. So 2 poor people cannot help themselves. It's just not one of those easy things to do. One has to get to the top. When you get to the top, help as many people as you can. But while you are at the bottom, you really can't help much people. So if you genuinely care about poor people, work hard to become rich so that you can help as many poor people as you can. But for you to be poor and think that you are doing somebody a favor is pure nonsense. You can help more people being wealthy. I want everybody to type this. If I want to help poor people, I need to become rich first. I want all of you to type it right now. If I want to help poor people, I need to become rich first. And the first mindset that you need to become rich and to be able to attract wealthy people is to begin to celebrate those who are successful. Of course, you can be intentional to celebrate only those who are legitimately successful. Absolutely, yes. But begin the journey of being happy for people who are doing well. Because that is a seed for your own greatness. That is a seed. That's the beginning to say, I'm also ready for other people to celebrate my greatness. I'm also ready for other people to celebrate my success. So I'm going to start by paying it forward. I'm going to start by celebrating with others, rejoicing with others, being happy for others. That is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? That is how success works. Begin to celebrate other people who are successful. Be happy for them. Forget what negative stuff somebody is saying. Forget, noise up and down. You just be happy for others. I just had a phone conversation with a very good friend of mine, Pastor Shola Jordan. And, many years ago, over 7 years ago, I used to come to America trying to sell our property business. But I was new. Nobody knew me that much at that point. And, the typical way Nigerians behave. Before you know it, the typical conversation is, how can somebody be coming from Nigeria and he says he wants to teach people in America how to be wealthy? Don't mind them. These are scammers. These are this. And sometimes I'll be on his show. I remember my last time on one of his shows. People literally were attacking me live on the show. Live on the show. And he used to wonder, he would call me after and say, hey, everybody's asking me to block you. Everybody's asking me to cut off from you. But I guess something in him just told him that I may not be able to explain this thing, but this guy is going somewhere. Today, and I used to tell him that, I said, Pastor Shola, people will call you seeking marital counsel. And then you spend hours and hours counseling them. They don't pay you anything. And you are struggling to pay your bills. In fact, one of the things that got him really inspired was the day I met in New York together, in Queens. And I was in his car. I said, Pastor Shola, how much do you need in a month for you to stop this whole, having to bother about paying rent, paying bills, so that you can live your full potential? There's so much in you. And you can really build an empire around your gift. He said, if I can get 4,000, okay, 4,000. I said, you know what? I'm going to pay you that 4,000 every month. sign everything to me. I will run your brand. I will create products around your brand. And every month, I'll pay you $4,000. Huh? He was practically, in fact, that was one of those meetings that, till tomorrow you can ask him. He tells me, he still said it today when we were discussing. That was one of the shocking things for him. How can somebody just meeting me, tell me he's going to pay me, right? And there must be something I'm missing. Because he will just give me all these excuses. You don't understand. Bill, America Lawa, I brought us some bill. We have to pay bills. We have to pay bills. I can't leave job. I can't leave my job. I can't leave my job. I have to pay bills. And I told her, I said, I will pay you that money. $4,000 every month. Right? And today, right, I'm happy for him. Because each time we talk now, it's about, oh, I'm building this property here. I'm doing this. I just paid for my house in Houston. I just did this. Because he has turned his life around. And the people who used to, sow seed of 20 pounds that they won't let him hear what, 50 pounds. Today, he does not need those kind of money anymore. He can properly take care of himself. But again, two poor people cannot help themselves. If Pastor Shola, for example, had continued to work with this poor circle of people he had built around himself in New York, in fact, he had to leave New York at some point, right? He is not going to be where he is today. And I've seen so many people's life change like that. So, number two thing you have to do is to disconnect with people who do not have wealthy mindset and begin to connect with people with wealthy mindset. Number two, and I want everybody to type it so that we're keeping notes of the points. Disconnect from people who don't have wealthy mindset and start intentionally connecting with people who have wealthy mindset. Now, I get it. It's challenging when you are trying to connect with people with a wealthy mindset. Sometimes it sounds like they are braggadocious. It sounds like they're arrogant. It sounds like they're just talking about, I'm doing this project, I'm doing that project. If you call me today right now, the only thing I'll tell you if you're in America, I have 20 units of 3-bedroom, okay, townhouse in Atlanta. I want to sell it. It's either you have money to buy it from me, or you can help me bring a buyer. I'm giving you 5% commission. That's the only conversation I want to have. Now, you can have that conversation with me and challenge yourself and say, oh, $250,000 property. I've never sold something like that before. But you know what? I will challenge myself to sell 5 for Dr. Steven because I don't even have the money to buy one. You could challenge yourself to say, I've been in America. I've never owned property of my own. I will take that risk. I want to buy this property in Atlanta, right? You can choose that. But you can also choose a poor mentality. Is he the only one that has property? Why is he always talking about property? Why is he always talking about this? You see, it's about mindset. So it's either you're working with people with positive, wealthy mindset, or you're working with people with negative poverty mindset. So the second assignment I'm giving you today is that you have to now be intentional. I want to start working with people with wealthy mindset. I want to talk with people that when we talk, okay, I get to think about my dreams again. I get to reset my goals. I get to reshape my goals because I can realize that I'm not daring enough. Now write these quotes down and I want you to type this quote. And please share this and invite as many people to join this conversation. Okay? The step of a giant is a marathon for a dwarf. Begin to work with giants and you will move faster. This is my quote. Okay? Begin to work with giants and you will move faster. Because a step by a giant is a marathon for a dwarf. And so what often happens when you continue the lifestyle of a dwarf, okay? The lifestyle of a dwarf, without looking for somebody who is a giant, that you can celebrate, not envy, not, celebrate them. Watch their footsteps, right? And it inspire you to start running. I once shared this story. I said, when I got to know that Dangote worked 16 hours a day, and I wanted to be as rich as Dangote, I said to myself, if the richest man in Africa is already doing 16 hours, if I am doing 8 hours work a day, when will I ever get to him? Except I'm deceiving myself. Except I'm joking. If somebody who is currently the richest man in the world, he's doing 18 hours work a day, right? He sleeps for an average of 5 to 6 hours a day, the richest man in the world. Then I dream to be like him, and I'm sleeping for 10 hours. I'm only working for 8 hours. When will I ever be like a Dangote? And I see the same thing with young people. A lot of young people, I want to be like Dr. Stephen. Do you have Dr. Stephen's work ethic? Are you hardworking? Are you willing to stay on your dream when everybody is mocking you? Are you willing to keep moving? Right? When people are literally gossiping about you, you could hear them talk about you, but you just don't care. Where you are going, you are laser focused. Okay? Some of you now, when somebody start talking about you, you're already crying. Oh, see what they're saying. I told somebody someday, I said, I really wish to go viral. I've been praying for the day somebody will just carry one negative news about me. I will not sell less than, not less than $1 million that day. I am already ready for the day I will have one scandal. I am ready for what I will sell. Okay? And trust me, I'm not just going to be moved by nothing. Okay? It's their opinion and they're entitled to it. Come on, are you learning today? How many of you are excited about what you're learning? If you're excited, type I'm excited. Okay? If you're excited about what you're learning, type I'm excited, I'm excited. Okay? So it's important to change that mindset. Begin to move with those who are moving. Disassociate with those who are going nowhere. They're not helping you. They are not helping you. And you have no point. I had to leave a neighborhood at some point. When I was on campus, all my friends, either they are cultists or they are Yahoo boys. And I knew I wasn't going that direction. I had to change my house. Okay? And move closer to my church, where I had guys who were more serious about their lives. They were godly people. And in 2 years, my life turned around. You are the average of the 5 closest people to you. Okay? So number 3 points, which is very important. Okay? Remember that the last one I just said, move with people who are positive mindset. Now, they don't even need to be rich. I keep saying this because sometimes where we miss it is that we're waiting for those who are already rich. Meanwhile, what you should be going after is who are those who already have wealthy mindset. Their mindset is positive, their language is positive, their conversation is positive. Start there. You may not be able to attract richest people yet, but start by moving closer to those who are already on their way. They talk big, they talk great, positive, they talk dreams, they don't gossip. Somebody said this: rich people discuss ideas and business, poor people discuss other people, right? And gossip about who says what, who is doing what. And I don't want to be around such people. I want to talk about ideas. I want to talk about where I'm going, my dreams, and I want to be the one they are talking about. Somebody said, let your life catch fire and let what other people come watch you burn. Everybody type that. Let your life catch fire and the world will watch you burn. Let your life catch fire and the world will watch you burn. Let me say it again. Everybody, come on, type it ASAP. Let your life catch fire and the world will watch you burn. Right? People always discuss about people who are making progress, people who are changing the narrative, people who are game changers. They talk about that. So it's okay that they talk about you. That's fine. That's all right. Number 3 points. Always come to the table with value. Everybody help me type it. Always come to the table with a value. Come on, I'm waiting for everybody to type it. Always come to the table with value. For the last time, I'm going to say it. Always come to the table with value. I've seen so many people, okay, wanting to interact with me, and there's no value they are bringing to the table. Okay, always come to the table with a value. You know, don't live a life where you want everything free. Even if the person decides to make it free, still come with a value. I've done seminars that are free, okay, and people will come. It could be a 3 hours webinar, it could be 4 hours, and they had nothing to give. Even after the webinar, they are still asking me to give them something. That is not the right mindset. If you are really serious about life and progress and success, come to the table with value. Everybody type, come to the table with value. Come with value. Right? Don't live your life such that everybody is giving you and you are not giving everybody. And that's one of the best way to start a wealthy mindset. From your poor position, from your empty bank account, come with value. And I'll share this story with you guys, and it will inspire you. When I finished secondary school, right, in between while I was writing JAMB, I had to stay with a couple of people before going to university. You know, they were relations, they were family friends, and I will never forget. Many of them had, you know, maid in their house, but I turned myself to a maid. True story. I turned myself. They didn't ask me to. I turned myself to a maid. I remember one of those families. I stayed in Ilorin, right? Because we were living in Jeba at that time, and I had to do JAMB in Ilorin. I stayed with that family. I will never forget it. I will use my hand and sponge to wash the toilet. I'm talking of WC. Wash it sparkling clean. I go and meet them. Do you have clothes? I want to wash it for you. Okay, can I wash your car? Can I get the key? They were not begging me to do it. Day one I got into their house, I was working like I was a slave. True story. And every relationship I built around that place, I made sure I added value to everyone. Everyone. By the time I entered, you know, Ogun State University, I needed to start my business. Right? I joined, they had a church as well. In the church, I was useful. And I started a business. I wanted to sell discs. It was called e-books. And those e-books in those days, we had this CD, these discs that, you know, you put in a computer, right? And it runs the books and all of that. So I needed to replicate the e-books. I got this e-book for 3,000 at that time. One of my first businesses, right? And the books had reseller rights. So I was to burn those books on other CDs. I needed some money. As at that time, maybe I needed 5,000. I would do posters, paste it on campus that people wanted, self-improvement, because I had books on Acres of Diamond, books on relationship, books on even coding, web design, all of that. So now I needed 5,000. I didn't have 5,000. I was a new guy on campus. So I remember sending SMS to all these people I used to work like a slave in their house. All the relationship I gathered that were positive, that I added value to them. I sent them, some of them that I knew were richer. I told them I needed them to support me with 1,000 naira. I sent it to 10 people. Remember, I only needed 5,000. I sent to another 10 people that they should support me with 500 naira. At the end of the day, yes, most of them didn't reply. But the few that replied me, I had enough money to start my first ebook business. But the reason that those people sent me those money was because I added value to them before I ever asked them for anything. Never build a parasitic relationship with nobody. I don't care who they are. Right? I don't care who they are. When you are going to meet people, go with a gift. It could be for Apple. Go with a gift. It's not even about them appreciating it. There is a supernatural law that rewards that act. There is a supernatural dimension to giving. Don't live a life where you're a parasite. Don't build parasitic relationships. Add value to anybody you meet. That's part of why I'm here, isn't it? Okay? Most of you here, I don't know you. Right? But I'm adding value to you, isn't it? Now, before I end up saying, come buy real estate from me, come invest in my company, what am I doing? I am teaching you for free. I'm sharing principles that have changed my life. I'm sharing ideas. So the day I tell you, I have this product, come and buy, you are more than happy to do business with me. That must be the mindset you must approach the marketplace with. Value. Give before you ask. Add to people. Don't come and say, well, I'm meeting Dr. Stephen. I'm a poor person. He's a rich man. Doctor, help me. No. I may not be as rich as doctor, but I know something. But I also carry value. But I'm also important. And then I am going to add that value that I carry. Okay? In fact, this is how I do this. And I'm telling you my life story. I don't even ask you. I just give. Right? And in many cases, I realize that it's the other party that is looking for what to do for me. Right? Oh, what do I do for this guy? Right? Oh, how do I pay back? This guy has shocked me. This guy has so blessed me. This guy has so added value. That must be. We live in a world where everybody wants to get. Everybody, give me, give me, give me. Oh, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? And when you flip the table, right, just turn it around. You be the first to say, oh, what can I do for you? I'm ready to add value. I'm ready to give you something. Flip the table, ladies and gentlemen, and you will be shocked how many people will begin to treat you differently. How many people will begin to love you and respect you. Okay? Have you gotten value? Did you get value? Why is this a squirrel? Why is he looking at me like this? Right? And he's just been gazing at me. Is he a squirrel? He was looking at me for a long time. If you are in Nigeria now, you will have been called bushmeat. Okay. So, the last 2 points that I have for you guys today. I hope this has been very helpful. Come on, I need your feedback. If it's helpful, just type helpful, helpful. Got value, got value. I want to share with you 2 important poor people you must never associate with if your life will make progress. Okay? Number 1, people who think you are the problem. Okay? I want everybody to help me type it. People who think you are the problem. I don't care who they are. They could be your father, your mother, your cousin, your in-law, your nephew, your friend of 20-something years, 30-something years. Anybody that think you are the problem. Okay? In other words, people who are not ready to take responsibility for their challenges, run away from such people. They are the 2 poor people that I say cannot help themselves. Okay? People who think you are the problem. Right? Have you met people like that? If you have, come on, type, I've met people like that. There are certain human beings that I've seen. They will never take responsibility for their life. Never. Everything that happened in their life is somebody else's fault. Everything. Everything that happened in their life is somebody else's fault. Right? They will never take responsibility. And I tell people, if you see human beings like that, run. Everybody type run. I'm not even asking you to consider, run from such people. Okay? Run. Run, and run like you're running for your life. Practically, because such human beings are toxic, they are negative, okay? And they will constantly bring you down. always run. So today I'm sharing with you the 2 types of poor people you should never hang around with, and who cannot help you and you can't help them. Okay? Number 1, people who think you are the problem, or people who think God is the problem, or people who always blame every other person for their problem except themselves. Right? One of the powerful game changer that happened in my life was the day I learned that good or bad is my fault. Good or bad, whatever happens in my life, one way or the other, there is a portion of that is my fault, and I must be willing to accept it. That was when my life changed. So today, when issues happen in my life, okay, even though I admit other people's role in that, I ask myself that honest question: Stephen, what did you do wrong here? Where did you miss it here? Okay, what part of this is your own fault, so that you can take responsibility for it and you can prevent it from happening. And I'll give you an example. Some of you, how many of you believe that you have had people that have brought you down in your life? How many of you had such? Right? You've helped people and they brought you down. You've supported people and they brought you down. Come on, how many of you have had such people? I have had. But you see, I had one recently. Very painful one. Very, very painful. I remember the guy rushed to my office in Dubai one day. Oh, Dr. Stephen, I'm about losing my job. You know, somebody's in our office, is doing better than I do. Come and start selling for our company. I know you. You have people who can trust you. You can help me sell our company's product better. Just to support this guy. I pick their property and to help them sell. And before you know it, we're selling like no man's business. I built reputation. People trust me. They love me and all that. Right? Before you say Jack Robinson, something went wrong. And when we started investigating, because some of the properties, the client didn't get receipts, they didn't get, and we just started making research, and we're told that some of the clients, because some of those clients trust me, and this gentleman came from me because his own side of not betraying that trust, because I partnered with him because I trusted him, right? At the same time, I held myself responsible as well. And I asked myself, where did I go wrong here? Okay? What was the mistake I made? Right? It was so bad, I didn't even have a contract with this guy. There was nothing we signed together. Nothing that we signed together. So I started seeing where my own faults were, and I took responsibility for my own mistakes. That is how responsible human beings do. Now, let me say this, and I want everybody to write this down. Please, everybody write this down. You become a mature human being the day you start taking responsibility, okay, for the good and bad that happens to you. Let me say that again. You become a mature human being the day you start taking responsibility for the good and bad that happens to you. One day I said this to my wife. I said, I made up my mind one day. It was a vow. It was like, literally, I vowed to myself that the day I will be taking my last breath, there will be no human being I will blame for anything in my life. Okay? There will be no human being that I'm going to say, oh, you know what? I didn't make it in life because of my dad. I wasn't successful because he was the type of wife I married. Oh, I didn't make it because, it was the employee that worked for me. Oh, my boss was the wicked boss. That's why I didn't progress. I promised myself that not even my wife, and I told her, okay, if I remember saying to my wife, I said, look, I have vowed to live my own life to the fullest here on earth. And my only advice to you is that you also decide to enjoy your life. Because I have decided to enjoy my own life. Okay? And I'm not going to blame you for anything. I'm not going to look back and say, oh, I could have done this. Oh, but my wife didn't like to travel. That's why I wasn't traveling. And for example, my wife is not the traveling type. I love to travel. So guess what? I travel a lot. So I'm not going to live a life where years later I'll say, and I would have loved to travel all over the world. But guess what? Why I didn't travel enough? My wife didn't like to travel. No, not at all. And I said to her the same. I said there might be certain things you love to do that I don't like to do. You better go ahead and do them. And don't make me be the excuse, because you must live a life where you are not blaming other people for your failure. And let me add this quote to it, and I want everybody to type this quote. You will begin to make it in life the day you take responsibility for your personal finance. You will begin to make it in life the day you take responsibility for your personal finance. So what has happened to many people, they have delegated their personal finance to their boss. Well, I'm going to be as rich as how much salary my boss wished to pay me. Some have delegated their financial responsibility to their country. Well, I'm going to be rich to the tune of how, the US government or the UK government or the Canadian government decide to be benevolent, or the Nigerian government. Okay? And we give all of those things. I made up my mind. My money, how much money I have in this world, I am taking personal responsibility for. In other words, blame me. I am blaming myself if I'm poor. And I'm celebrating me if I'm rich. Is this making sense? If it's making sense, type it makes sense. Come on. Okay? I am blaming myself if I'm poor. And I'm celebrating myself if I am rich. In other words, you have started the journey of building wealth the day you take responsibility for your personal finance. Okay? For your personal finance. Boss or no boss, government or no government, recession or no recession. In fact, I so took responsibility for my finance that I have structured now and have perfected that art of making more money during recession. And I perfected it during COVID-19. Okay? And even for my company, I've perfected that we make more money during crisis. So, but it's a choice. And it only happens when you then take personal responsibility to say, I'm not going to be blaming anybody. So, number one type of person poor person you cannot afford to keep in your life is people who blame other people, okay, for the challenges they are facing. It's everybody else's fault, but not them. Are you ready for number two? Number two, people you cannot afford to be associating with. Okay? Number two, people you cannot afford to be associating with. Number two, poor mindset. And like I said, poverty is a mindset. So when we say wealth, riches, mindset is more of it, not even physical cash. If you are ready for number two type, I'm ready. Number two type of people, right, that cannot help you and you can't help them. Okay? Primarily because of the type of mindset that they have. Number two, are you ready? People who are never grateful or do not express gratitude. People who are never grateful or do not express gratitude. People who are never grateful or do not express gratitude. It took me years to analyze. I said, why is it that God wants you and I to be grateful? Well, because praise is an act of worship. And worship is an act of gratitude, right? It's an act of saying, we love you. You created me, my maker. You're my God. You're my Lord. You're my Savior. I give you all the glory. And sometimes you have to worship even when it's not convenient. right? You have to celebrate when it's not convenient. And it dawned on me that some of the worst human beings in this world are people who cannot be grateful. Because if you don't think, you will not thank. Many people who don't thank do not think. And what do you want to do with such people? They're going to make your life worse. You have to deal with people. I made up my mind many years ago that, you know, I can help you and you choose to forget. And you choose not to celebrate and remember me and acknowledge it. Your choice. But I, Stephen Akitayo, vow that if you help me once, I am going to tell people about it. And I have no shame that you helped me. Okay? There's no shame. In fact, what life has shown me is that you only attract more help when you acknowledge those who have helped you. You create a world where people will be excited helping you, right? When you build the culture of acknowledging those who have helped you. One of the character of evil men is that they do not acknowledge, good things done to them. In fact, not only do they not acknowledge, they don't even want others to know that you have helped them. I think it's one of the most evil things anyone can do. And if you have that culture today, you want to change it. Be proud to say, this person did this for me. This person helped me. This person gave me my first job. This person gave me a book. This person did this for me. There is nothing wrong. Acknowledge the good that people have done for you. Privately and publicly. Nothing wrong with it. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. I remember meeting Chief Dele Momodu, right? And I told him I was going to be in the US and we had a property in Dallas. You know, I'm trying to push it. And I remember we met in Dallas. And he joined me to the property, right? And we did video and he did not charge me a dime. My friends who came around, I told them, Chief Dele Momodu did this for me. He did not charge me a dime. Right? The last time I saw him, we were doing something, I acknowledged it publicly. This man helped me, he did not charge me for it. Now, my culture is that I may not go ahead and help you and do so many things after the one you did for me, but I've learned the culture to acknowledge the good that people do. Right? Build that culture. I hope you are learning. So when you see people who somebody helped them and they just, it's just one of those things. They won't even say anything. Oh, yeah. Oh, I couldn't even remember. I think he sent me something. That is a sign of somebody that is evil. Okay? So, and you don't be the one now in that mix. When people do things for you, thank them privately and publicly. You helped me. Thank you. I am grateful. Tell other friends, this person did this. And what I learned I learned this from a man called what's his name again? Mike Murdoch. What I learned over time is that when you even acknowledge the good of others in your life, more people now want to help you. Who understand what I'm talking about? More people want to favor you. More people want to identify with you. More people want to connect with you. So it's not even a negative. Sometimes you think you'll be small. No. Oh, somebody, okay, maybe other people will also discover your helper. I hear all this negative talk. Oh, if you ever have a helper, don't let nobody know your helper. I just hear those nonsense. These are not scalable ideas or scalable conversations. Be grateful and acknowledge the gratitude. And when you see yourself around people who don't know how to be grateful to God, they don't know how to be grateful to man. And like I said, this doesn't have to be that they did it to you. When I look at people and I see how people have helped them, and they forgot all that help. Maybe the person that made a mistake once, and then all you're talking about is the one time the person hurts you, and you forgot all the other good times the person helped you. I noticed that this is the kind of person I need to be careful. Okay? Because you will do it to me too. One day you will erase all the good I've done, and you only jump on the bad. Because ultimately there's no perfect human being. And we are who we are based on our values, our character. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I hope you learned a few things from me today. I want to thank all of you for watching and listening. If you are in the US, you're in Dallas, send me a DM. If you're in Houston, send me a DM. If you're in Los Angeles, send me a DM. If you're in San Francisco, send me a DM. If you're in Maryland, send me a DM. If you're in Atlanta, send me a DM. Okay, I have events and I have free tickets. I'm going to give a few of you. You can tell your friends that you know that are around as well to come. Also, I have 20 units of 3-bedroom townhouse in Atlanta, Georgia that I'm selling. If you help me get a buyer, I give you 5% commission. If you want to buy yourself, great, but I need cash buyer. The good news about the property is that they're already tenants, so you have cash flow. Remember, I teach a lot about cash flow. One of the things you want to look at key is cash flow real estate. And when you say real estate that is already producing cash flow, that's the right kind of real estate you want to put your money, because now you don't need to do the work to look for the tenants who will rent the place. They're already tenants. You just need to start collecting your money, and that is what I want to see, okay? So send me a DM and let's do business together. I love you all and thank you for listening. Share this video with as many people as possible so that others can learn. If you join late, you can go watch it all over again. Okay? From Dallas, I love you. God bless you. Remember, two poor people cannot help themselves. One has to get to the top before he can throw the rope and pull others up. So work hard to get to the top first, and then you can see how you can help as many people as you can. I love you. Bye-bye. Oops. I have an appointment 6:30. Jesus.